what can you expect your interest rate to be in the next year once your end loan is finalized? So basically the question is that if you're building a house right now, your builder's telling you it's going to be 9 to 12 months before the house is going to be completed. What can we expect for an interest rate? Basically 9 to 12 months from now.
Roll the dice.
Great question.
Roll the dice.
Grab that magic 8-ball that you had back in the day, right? It's probably sitting in a box somewhere. Pull it out and say our rate's going to be higher now, a year from now than today, and see what it says. I know that's tough. It's a tough call. There's some industry experts that think rates are going to come down later this year. So they think they're going to peak around 4.5 and then come back down and actually end in the high 3s at the end of the year. Some think that that's not going to happen. I don't know. I stopped trying to predict rates that far out, especially with what's going on today, just because when COVID was here and there was no end in sight, that was predictable.
Yeah, exactly.
We
knew COVID wasn't going to be over in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see that far ahead. But right now, we're on the cusp of transferring out of the epidemic into the endemic phase.
Yep.
So that pressure is going away. We have the highest inflation that we've had in a long time, but no one seems to be sure if that inflation is going to continue for an extended period or if it's going to taper off. Obviously, right now, the people that are pulling the levers on the federal economy are hoping that it tapers off, but we don't know in a year from now what the situation will be. We have the budding, the beginnings of a potential long-term, drawn-out European conflict, which could have huge impacts on the global economy, or very little, depending on what happens. I have no idea what interest rates are going to do over the next year.
I mean, I think inflation is going to be the main driver.
I think so too, domestically speaking. But like Russia is a gigantic energy exporter. If they are, if they're cut off from foreign exchanges in the way that people are now talking about, that could have a humongous impact on energy costs, which could have other impacts on global markets. A year from now, your guess is as good as mine as far as what interest rates will be. How far in advance of a house actually being done can someone lock in on their loan?
So we have a 180-day lock right now. We're looking to add a 270. So I think sometime in March we'll have a 270-day rate lock option, typically for new construction only. But that's how far you can lock out. Now there's premiums, right, that you pay. So Let's take our 180-day rate lock. How does that work? You take what the 60-day rate lock is today. So let's just say for easy numbers, it's 4%. So for your particular situation, your purchase price, your down payment, your credit score, the blah, 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 right, all that stuff, you can get 4% today on your 30-year fixed. So what we do is we take that 60-day rate, we add 0.25% to it. So now you'd be locking in at 4.25%. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, once you get down the road and once you get within 30 days of closing, you have one time to float that rate down. So if you're at 4.25% now, locked in that 180-day rate lock, and you get within 30 days of closing, let's say rates go to 3.75, now you can unlock your 4.25% rate and you can drop it to the lower rate, but you can only do that once, and you have to do it within 30 days of your closing. So that's how those work. A 270, from what I hear, the 270 would be a 0.5% hit to your rate. So you take the 60-day lock today, let's say it's 4 again. You would lock in on 270 days and you'd be at 4.5% because that's the 0.5% there. And then again, you have the float down. Once you get within 30 days, if rates are lower, then you can unlock your 4.5% that you're at, float it down to the lower rate.
So then the next piece of that question is it possible in this market to get a house built in half a year? I would say no. Unless you're swooping in on someone else's deal where they've already broken ground. And, the buyer has had to back out for some reason. Oh, sorry, actually, my wife got a job in California, and we're going to bail on this, and we need someone else to take this construction project over. Yep. Which is like the dream. Right. I don't think you're going to be able to make it happen. But still, that does give you a lot more stability in that equation because you've got a longer-term rate lock. What will rates be 6 months from now? I don't know, but I'm a lot more confident in where those rates will be than if you ask me the same question about 12 months from now.
Absolutely, yeah. And the other thing too that you're going to see a lot more builders going to spec homes versus custom builds. They're taking orders from people. Lennar, D.R. Horton, like the national builders, they've already basically stopped taking orders.
Oh, yeah.
They said, hey, we know what consumers want, and we want to build them faster, right? And so we're just going to build these things and then put them on the open market, almost like an existing house, and then come in and, then people can obviously bid on them and things like that. And I know a lot of other builders too, even your mid-tier builders here in the Twin Cities are going to go to that because as soon as you cut the consumer out, right, with being able to select options and things like that, the build cycle gets a lot quicker.
Well, it's industrialization.
Yep.
It's the Model T Ford. You can get it in any color as long as it's black. The simpler you make the whole process from top to bottom, the faster you can actually produce the thing from taking the raw materials on the site and actually putting up a house. Totally makes sense. Because every time you've got we have to get the right tile for the backsplash because they wanted hexagons rather than the standard square pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
Anytime you're making changes, you're waiting on those things.
Right.
And then there's also we have to undo that because we did it the spec home way, but what they really want is they want the mahogany floors rather than the maple floors or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's definitely true.